Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is October the 2nd, 2024. Hopefully this episode finds you well in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. I'll say today was a pretty good day. Work was work. We got through that. After that, of course, I went to the gym. Let's see here. Gym went well. I will say I didn't go as hard on my cardio as I normally like to. I did the Stairmaster. That kicked my butt. Then I did a little bit of treadmill. That wasn't so bad. And then the elliptical. And then I wanted to try this other machine that was like the elliptical, where you're like swinging your legs like forward and backwards, essentially. And I hated it. I did not like it. So I did that for like 5 minutes and I was like, okay, I'm done. And then I just did weights, like weight training stuff for the rest of the day. So that was kind of nice. I'm going to call that kind of like a rest day situation since I sweated, but not as much, But hopefully we'll hit it harder tomorrow. Let's see. I mean, that kind of lands us where we are now. Let's see. What did I eat for food last night? Yeah, I had pasta with the red sauce. It was pretty good. I had a bolillo roll, and we're back on our plain bagel. We love it. Plain bagel, plain cream cheese. And I dressed it up. I had the capers. I had let's see, the cheese, the pesto, all that on that. So it was good. It was yummy. Let's see here. Is there anything else I really wanted to cover? Oh, and I had a big salad with it too, of course. Had to do it. Back on the Italian dressing, of course. No, I think we're good. I will say, man, I had such a late night. It kind of bleeds into the first story, but I was just like so out of time. Like, I don't think I didn't eat until 11 o'clock last night. I was so upset about it because I didn't have any time to, like, really chill the way I wanted to, like, do any gaming for real. So, I wound up still going to bed late, too, at, like, 1 o'clock. So, I don't know, man. Sometimes that's just going to happen with this new schedule I'm on. But, trying to make the most of my time, So, hopefully, that's good, right? Anyway, let's go ahead and do our startup, and we'll get into some news. Alrighty, Rune. Whew. All right. Our first story, I'm literally just gonna full riff. I don't know why I don't know why I picked the BBC, but I just picked it. It was there. Vance and Walz stick to policy in polite VP debate, but who won? So literally not even gonna touch the article. Just gonna say, hey, I watched this debate like technically 1.5 times. I had to literally like stop watching it to do the episode last night, and then got off the episode, watched right after, like kind of got in the middle. I was like half drunk, texting my friends. I'm just mad. I'm upset. I'm like, oh, this shit is a glaze off, bro. This shit is so fucking upsetting. Wake up, go to work. I'm at work. I watch the whole thing just to kind of like see, do I still feel the same way? What did I miss? Yada, yada, yada. And I watched it, and I gotta say, the best way, on 2x speed on YouTube. Love that shit. Because then it was like, oh yeah, this isn't nearly as like fucking draining and upsetting and frustrating. It's just zip, 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 zip. But yeah, who won? I would say by the numbers, if we're saying like, winner by TKO or whatever, it's probably JD Vance. And I hate to fucking give that couch fucker any credit, but I was telling people before the debate, I'm like, I think you need to maybe realize that maybe JD locked in a little bit. Like, and I say that because like even up until the Trump debate where like JD was like literally the guy alley-ooping Donald Trump the fucking the Haitian cat dog bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, he was saying that shit right before. He was fucking Trump up, talking about abortion in ways he shouldn't have really been talking about, like essentially pigeonholing Trump to a position he did not want to be pigeonholed in. And I think maybe something knocked loose in JD. Maybe, like, you know, he just was like, no, I'm in the chair now. I'm locked in. I'm going to do my shit here on this debate. He just seemed on it. You know what I mean? That's really all I can really say. There was also another instance where he didn't get into he was doing like a stumping thing where he was going into some like food establishment restaurant, and the person there, the owner, like, didn't want to let him in, like, and he actually handled it like a almost normal human pretty much, and I was like, yeah, something's changed. The vibe is different. He's elevated. So yeah, he came in with his guy liner and, his Ozempic bod, and he was ready to roll. He was ready to fight. I guess I should say alleged Ozempic bod, but I think, methinks, because that baby chin went away. Where'd it go, brother? But anyway, he just seemed more focused. I don't want to say more focused, but it's just by comparison, like, Walz kind of seemed, especially in the beginning, a little bit sloppy, a little bit nervous, like, you know, a little bit out of sorts. And it had even been leaked or said that it's like, hey, Walz is nervous about this debate. He doesn't think he's a great debater. I will say, though, as the debate went on, he definitely found his stride, and that was good. I think they definitely did a good toe-to-toe. I had heard that the moderators weren't going to do any fact-checking, which I'm like, boo, what the fuck? I think this was, I can't remember, was this ABC? I think it was ABC. If not, it was CBS, vice versa from the other debate. It was, okay. This was CBS, my bad. ABC was the last one. But they had said, hey, we're not going to fact-check you guys, okay? We're going to let you guys do the fact-checking. We're going to go back to that method. We don't want to get yelled at post. We don't want any backlash. But it seemed that they did do some fact checking, so it's kind of weird. But I don't mind that. I think it's good. I know one place where, like, Walz kind of got jammed up was they were talking about his record and how you had, like, said, hey, you went to Tiananmen Square, like, when that shit was going down. That's what you said. And he did, like, this long meandering answer where essentially he just kind of says, yeah, maybe I kind of got that wrong. Needless to say, I mean, what's his name? Vance had similar fuck-up issues because at the end of the day, he has to defend someone like Donald Trump and all the shit he said and done. And not to mention the fact that he said fucked up shit about Donald Trump, too. So he had to really kind of fight that battle. I think really where he lost the most points, where a lot of people were talking about post-debate, was, like, he couldn't say that Trump Trump was implicated or, like, involved in January 6th. He couldn't say that Trump lost. He couldn't say those things. He, like, tried to, like, pivot the conversation to be like, oh, I'm focused on the future. And it's like, dog, like, this is the same problem that your fucking running mate has. And, like, it's weird that both of you can't fucking, like, admit what is real. We all fucking saw and all witness and all are living in this reality. And in fact, Donald Trump has said at least on 2 occasions that he's like, yeah, I lost, whatever, it doesn't matter. But then switches back to like, it was a scam, it was a stolen election. And it's like, he has to back his fucking, you know, God King to the fucking hilt. So that's what he's doing. But that being said, I do think that Vance kind of came. Oh, and let me get to because I mentioned this, right? Like, I called it a glaze off. It was 2 things. I would describe this if I had to give this to you in 4 words, how this debate went, how I felt about it. It was glaze off, mid off. That was both of those things. And, like, don't get me wrong, it was kind of nice of the quote-unquote return to sensibility because you didn't have Donald Trump on the stage, like, just turning it into, like, the fucking Apprentice. You know what I mean? Being weird and crazy and mentioning things that are just literally just complete outright lies. It felt normal in that regard, and that was cool, I guess. But, like, I hated seeing Walz agree with Vance as much as he did. And I don't get why Vance was also doing the same thing where, like, they both had this tactic of, like, and you're supposed to do this as a vice president in this kind of situation, where you're big upping your president, your guy, your running mate, and, like, and then you're demonizing, villainizing the other guy's running mate, right? Like, that's your goal as a VP. And they both did that more or less well. It just felt very frustrating to just kind of see, in my mind, Vance do it better. You know what I mean? Because it's like, okay, man, you're saying all the points. We know Donald Trump is bad, but, like, Vance is doing a very good job of, quote unquote, I and I say this from their perspective, reminding people that Harris is the reason why this economy is bad, why immigration is bad. I think that he left that taste in people's mouths. And if you're a Trump supporter, you're eating that up and regurgitating that out to everybody. You know what I mean? Whereas I just feel like Walz gave the canned things and, like, you know, talked about being a teacher and being a governor and stuff, but it did kind of feel a little bumble butt. So, you know, there was that. But, you know, I mean, I don't think this is really going to change too fucking much. I'm not going to lie to y'all. Before I was about to press play on recording, I realized, Isaiah, you have to cover the debate. Like, you did all this fucking research and listened and all this fucking shit. You have to talk about it. And I was like, oh, fuck, I forgot. And I really do think that this is going to be one of those things that, like, in a week, in 2 weeks, just like Trump's 2 assassination attempts, you're not really going to think about it. It's not going to be a thing that's, like, swimming around in your brain. That being said, I definitely kind of realized, like, where my heat check is. We're at the top of October now, you know, October surprise season, whatever. And, like, once again, this is just me. I'm an armchair motherfucker. I don't know anything. I don't know shit from fucking Bob. But, like, my vibe, you know, I don't feel okay, Tony. I don't feel right. Something's wrong. I don't know. And this shit is feeling too 2016 to me, where it's like I'm talking to all my friends and, like, especially my liberal friends. I don't know, some of them. They're like, oh man, yeah, no, things are good, bro. It's a close race, but, like, Kamala's been leading. It's good. It's like, bro, if you look at a lot of these polls, they are very close, which means she went up and now she went down. So, like, it means we're kind of past that honeymoon phase. And I'm like, I just don't know that when we get to the ballot box, things are going to be what we want. If you're, you know, a liberal-minded whoever the fuck. You know what I mean? It's looking real Trumpish. It's looking real 2016 in his heyday type vibe right now. I don't know. And maybe that's just wrong. I hope I'm wrong here, y'all. I really do. Y'all know I don't want to see another fucking 4 years of Trump. 4+ potentially. No, I don't. Like, that's, no. Ugh. But I just, that's probably, if I was a betting man in Vegas right now, I don't know. I don't feel as good about it as I did maybe about 2-3 weeks ago. You feel me? So, I mean, like I said, I really hope I'm wrong there. I know I'm already going long on this debate stuff, even though I didn't even read a sentence. But I overall, it was interesting. Y'all know I'm about this shit. Like I said, I was half drunk last night talking to my friends. Just like I realized at one point I was pacing, talking to like 2 or 3 different people about this shit like it's the fucking Super Bowl. And I'm like, I'm such a fucking political dumbass nerd, and I don't know how I got here. But I love it. I love it so much, and it's been crazy. And I mean, I look forward to keeping you guys posted on any potential October surprise that may come down the pipe this month. You know, any, different projections or what have you, and any changes in the polls, I'll probably be able to yap about that a little bit. But let's move on. Let's move on to the rest of the news I wanted to cover. Let's see, from Yahoo News. Bank of America customers report outage, some seeing $0 balances. Damn. This would freak me out. This is one of my definite nightmares, y'all, is waking up one day, because I try, like, especially if my mental health is on point, I'm checking my mail, I'm checking my bank account. You know what I mean? I'm making sure I'm on my shit and everything's fine. If I'm not okay, I try not to check that shit, and it's usually a bad idea. You know what I mean? Because then I get a little manic and I might spend some money. I don't want to do that. So anyway, let's focus on the here and now. Thousands of Bank of America customers are having trouble accessing their bank accounts. According to Down Detector, a site that monitors outages, people began having issues around 9:30 a.m. Now, I don't know what has caused it. Once again, I will keep you posted if I find out the reason. I definitely am very curious what caused this outage. I know we'd recently covered Verizon, the other day, in terms of them being down. But, I mean, I was also thinking that too. Like, imagine you're a Verizon user and you also bank with Bank of America. Like, right now, you're having the shittiest time right now. Like, especially if you are in, and this is the fucking sad triple threat here, you went through, like, Hurricane Helene situations, and, like, you had no power, your home might have been destroyed or what have you. Oh my god! And this is a random segue. I wasn't planning on covering this, but I think there was like a factor, like some kind of establishment in Tennessee where 11 workers had died. And essentially, I'd heard some details where literally they were more or less forced to work during this fucking hurricane-like situation because the powers that be at this job were like, nah, it's fine. It's going to be okay. Just finish your shift. Do your job. And essentially, they're gone. Like, I think at least half of the 11 people who were there that, were caught up in the situation are gone. Obviously, I'm just kind of freestyling this. I should have, had this ready if I was going to yap about it, but it just kind of came to me talking about this shit. Once again, like this is a constant thing. We've covered this before on this podcast where you have employers who give rat shit about their goddamn employers who are making them the fucking money and are down to crack the whip despite the fact that the world around these people, the employees, is falling down around them. And all they want to do is just go back to their home and shelter with their family and just be as safe as they can, and instead they have to make the terrible decision of whether or not they stay and roll the dice and potentially lose their life on the job because of their fucking employers and the storm. And I'm minimizing it, saying storm. Like, it was a fucking like hurricane like scenario, bro. So I know I'm just kind of shooting from the hip there, but that was something that definitely bothered me and upset me very, very much so. And what upset me even more is that the fact that, like, once again, this is a commonplace thing in America, a place that is supposed to be like, American excellence, the best of the best. We have all the things that you need, but like at the same time, you have to work to your literal death. Like, come on, man, it's fucked up shit. But yeah, like I said, I'll keep posted on the Big of America shit if I find out anything new. Let's move on to an update on the Matthew Perry situation, at least in terms of the people implicated in it, in his death, from CNN. Doctor charged in connection with Matthew Perry's death pleads guilty to conspiracy to distribute ketamine. Mark Chavez, one of the two doctors charged in connection with Friends star Matthew Perry's death, has pleaded guilty to one count of conspiracy to distribute ketamine as part of a plea agreement during a court appearance in Los Angeles on Wednesday. In accordance with the agreement, Chavez formally pleaded guilty to conspiring to distribute ketamine to Perry, who died in October of 2023 due to the acute effects of the anesthetic and subsequent drowning, according to the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Office autopsy report. He was 54. Let's see here. Chavez is facing up to 10 years in prison, which is the maximum sentence recommended, outlined in the plea agreement. Let's see. Scroll ahead here. Chavez is accused of providing Dr. Salvador Plasencia, who is also charged in connection with Perry's death and has previously pleaded not guilty, with the ketamine given to Perry through a fraudulent prescription, according to court documents. Let's see, Placina and Chavez are among the 5 people who have been charged in connection with the death of the beloved actor. Perry's personal assistant, Kenneth Awamasa, and an acquaintance of Perry's, Eric Fleming, were also charged, along with Chavez, have been cooperative with prosecutors. And then here are the 2 that are still pleading not guilty. Jasveen Sangha, who prosecutors have said ran what amounted to a drug-selling emporium in her home, and Placina, who have pleaded not guilty to their respective charges that include falsifying medical records and conspiring to distribute, among others. Sangha and I don't know why I'm struggling here. Plasencia, will be tried together, according to prosecutors. The trial is scheduled to begin on March 4th of 2025. A pre-trial hearing is scheduled for February 19th. So definitely keep you posted on any more happenings and updates there. But definitely, with at least in terms of Chavez, and it makes sense. Like, you are up against it here. Like, I would not want to be in a situation where knowing, like, that there is a trail, despite the fact that these guys try to, like, cover their tracks and, like, put it all on the assistant. Like, no, they found you out. Like, you're in the shit here. You're in a lurch. Like, and to me, this is like very similar to like the doctor and the Michael Jackson situation, where it's like, yeah, like, who gives a fuck about how you feel about Michael Jackson, whatever. There was a lot of motherfuckers who were like, this doctor is the devil. Like, this doctor is guilty of sin. He's on some fucking Kevorkian shit. Where, even if you look at it in that situation, I think it's a little bit different, where it's like, you have a guy who's like, yeah, I need these drugs for this and this. And you're just like, okay, I can just give you what you want. Or I can be a doctor and do the right thing. And he chose to just give the patient what they wanted. At least in that narration, whatever. But in this situation, it's like, you're gonna be painted as a villain here, dude. There's no way out of this. If they have the evidence that you know they have against you, you're guilty of sin here. Like, I honestly don't get why any of these people are fighting this shit. It makes the most sense to just take it. Just take it on the chin, dog. Like, they are going to try to hang you high. And I mean, not like actual capital punishment, though. I mean, you could get confused with that in this fucking country that I live in, because we're down to do it, even if you're guilty or not. But like, you know what you're up against in this situation, and they're not picking a losing case here. I would plead out that if I was the lawyer here, I would be like, maybe we should take a deal. But hey, to the two people that are not, I mean, hey, we'll see you in court. I'm down to cover that shit either way. All right. Speaking of court, let's go ahead and do another story from the Independent. An Uber driver ran a red light and crashed. A New Jersey couple can't sue thanks to Uber Eats terms. This is weird. This is giving the same vibes as like the Disney arbitration thing, which I have a bit of an update there too, but we'll get there. A New Jersey couple who were badly hurt in an Uber crash cannot sue the app company because they tapped I agree to a forced arbitration clause. A court has ruled. Georgia and John McGinty were riding in the backseat of an Uber taxi in March of 2022 when their driver ran a red light and slammed into the side of another vehicle, according to court documents. Georgia McGinty, a matrimonial lawyer, suffered multiple broken bones and had to take more than a year off of work. While John McGinty, needed surgery and a bone graft to fix his fractures. But on September 20th, a trio of Garden State appeal judges upheld Uber's argument that the McGintys had waived the right to the trial when Georgia or her under 18-year-old daughter said yes to a full-screen pop-up in Uber's sister app, Uber Eats, presenting them with updated terms and conditions while they were trying to order food. This is preposterous to me. Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense that somehow your daughter is using Uber Eats and presses an I agree thing on Uber Eats, and somehow that trickles into Uber, the taxi, as if you're in the Uberverse, and if you sign into this for this, you're just cooked all around. You've agreed, brother. You're in. You're in for the ride of your life, or maybe your death. That seems not right to me. And even though I don't agree with this line of thinking, I could see how a judge could understand if it was, well, you agreed to this on the Uber, like the Uber driving, taxiing thing. So, ergo, you are agreeing to this. You are accepting all of the potential risks, and you have to then go to arbitration like this says. But this is literally not the same thing. This is like comparing apples to a literal taxi. Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense to me. It's just very weird. But like I said earlier, the Disney arbitration situation gets mentioned. In August, there was a public outcry over Disney's attempt to dismiss a wrongful lawsuit from the husband of a woman who died from an extreme allergic reaction to food that company restaurant staff assured her was allergen-free. Now, a bit of an update there. I am just kind of reading this off of AI overview from Google, but, you know, that pulls what it pulls, whatever. And I'd heard about this beforehand, so I felt pretty good just saying it here. Yes, Disney withdrew its request for arbitration in the wrongful death lawsuit filed by the husband of Kangaporn Tangsan. So that's good that they at least realize, like, oh, this is super bad press and not worth the fucking effort. So glad that they kind of rescinded that there. It's still crazy to me that appeal judges said, oh, yeah, no, actually Uber's right here. So, I mean, I really hope that this couple can find some justice in the situation. I think it's fucked up that they're having to be on this hook and getting no compensation, no recompense from Uber and the situation. And once again, I want to state, even if we're living in the timeline where Uber Eats isn't even involved in this conversation, I still think that Uber should be on the hook for this shit. Because what the fuck? At the end of the day, you aren't driving. Like, look, like, you shouldn't be punished for another fucking person's mistakes, in my opinion. Like, you have to, especially in these kind of situations, if you don't have the means to take yourself there, how else are we going to get here? Uber came to us saying, we have you. We got the solution. We have the utopian project here for you, brother, sister, cousin, whatever. Like, what do you mean now? This person ran a red light and I could have died. I got fucked up and there's no compensation for me because of Uber Eats? Or shit, even if I click the button, this is stupid. It's so fucking stupid. Because you know what this shit is, right? Like, it's that big fucking, like, legal-ass jargon that you have to, like, swipe through, and you're just like, yeah, okay, yeah, I agree. Like, no one's reading all that fucking shit. That's crazy shit. But once again, we're not even in that realm to me where that even adds up because it's in a different-ass fucking app entirely, bro. Like, get me out the Uberverse, bro. This place sucks. All right. I have one more thing I wanted to cover. This has been some, like, news that's been kind of, surfing through my fucking feed, and I wanted to kind of ignore it because it's just Taylor Swift pop news at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, it's also political. You know what I mean? Like, and I love when things just get political. And I want to make the argument maybe, and maybe call me crazy or whatever. I kind of think everything is political. Is that wild? Sound off if you get a chance. Hit me up in my DMs or a comment or the Discord, whatever. I generally feel like you can make anything political because everything kind of at its core is political. Politics bleeds into everything. Even the air we breathe is a political topic, So I guess this guy was like, fuck it. I hate Taylor Swift because Donald Trump told me to. But anyway. I'm giving too much of the game away. Let's take our last break and we'll cover this. Oh, sorry. I shouldn't be moaning like that. Okay, my bad. From The Independent. Man who smashed Taylor Swift's guitar with a hammer at Texas auction speaks out. Oh man, this is so fucking funny to me cuz like dude got everything he wanted and then had to be like, oh, fuck. The Texas man who smashed up a supposedly signed Taylor Swift guitar after paying thousands for it at an auction has spoken out. In footage that went viral this week, a man identified by U.S. media as Gary Estes, 67, was seen approaching the stage where a member of auction staff was waiting with the instrument, which was covered in images of Swift from her record-breaking Eras tour. He then proceeded to take the guitar, which he had bid $4,000 for, and smashed the guitar and smashed the surface of the instrument with a hammer to the sounds of cheers from the audience. So yeah, I mean, this took place in Yee, Texas, and I mean, that's not very surprising at all. But I remember when this shit dropped earlier this week, and like all the anti-Taylor Swift fans were like nutting in their pants. They're like, oh yeah, I hate billionaires. Oh, she's done blah. She's the worst. And like they're just going off, and they're so happy that this fucking guy and his cowboy, or actually the auction guy I think had the cowboy hat. I think the other guy who smashes it doesn't. But like they're just so happy that this Yee motherfucker just did this shit, and they're talking to him like he's like really fucking freed the people, and it's like, No, dog, can't you read the room? Like, this guy is doing it because Donald Trump is mad at Taylor Swift for endorsing Kamala Harris. Kamala, she endorsed Kamala. And because of this, he's like, fucking like, I gotta do this for my God King, for the Emperor. And he's smash, 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 smash. And he didn't even say anything. He didn't even do anything cool, bro. Like, there was nothing interesting about this to me. I don't know. It would have been if he had done something funny with the guitar. That would have been cool. If he had done the I hate to say this, if he had done the capitalistic thing and actually flipped that shit for some real fucking dollary dues, he could have made some goddamn money. Because there's so many Swifties out there that want to fucking strum on that motherfucker with their little fucking Taylor Swift bracelets who would have paid oodles and oodles of money. Or their fucking rich parents would have. So, like, brother, what are you doing? Because now he's in this fucking row where everyone's, like, mad at him, probably fucking sending him death threats and shit. The Swifties don't play around, okay? So he had to come out and say, whoa, 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 whoa. Actually, this was a joke. I was only joking. It was a gaffe. I was pulling everybody's leg. It's whatever. It's not that serious, actually. It wasn't a stunt, okay? It was a joke, okay? Comedy, I know you liberals think comedy is dead, but I'm trying to bring it back when I smash a guitar like I'm Gallagher. I know there's probably a bunch of people out there who don't know that reference. I barely do as a fucking millennial, but I know it's a real joke. He was a fucking prop, physical comedy guy. All right, look him up, whatever. Shit, I probably only Gallagher's y'all know is from fucking Shameless, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. He tries to kind of spin this off. I don't think anyone really believes that shit. I just think this dude's kind of a loser because he didn't make it funny. If you're going to make it a bit, bro, you got to make it a funny bit, man. Like, or if you're going to do something like this, like, make it a better celebrity than Taylor Swift to me. Like, I don't know, take Diddy's fucking Jergens and break it on the floor. Like, this isn't it to me, man. Like, this isn't the right monster. But once again, this guy is guided by whatever the fuck Donald Trump tells him to feel and do. You know what I mean? So it was just so funny seeing, like, my, like, leftist, like, oh, I'm so sick of Taylor Swift and her private jet, like, yodeling for a guy mashing a fucking guitar like he's a fucking Luddite. Like, good for both of you. Good for both parties here. I'm actually eating my popcorn, once again, Michael Jackson style, like, to you fucking dumb assholes. So, thank you. Great. It was nice entertainment. Where am I at? That's it. I'm good. I feel good. I got all this shit off my chest. This is a fine episode at IMO. I'm going long. I keep going long this week. Maybe it's me trying to make it up for y'all because I took a whole ass fucking day off on Sunday. But fuck it. I can't stop yapping. I just, the mic turns on and I just, whoa. But I'll leave it there. I'll stop it there. Let's see. If you'd like to help out and support the effort, become a newsie today. Patreon.com/IsaiahNews. Give you a shout out once a month. Plug a project if you like. That's an option. Let's see here. IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. Send me some feedback that way. The old Google Mail. Feel free to find me or the podcast on any of the socials you're using. I'm probably there. Let's see. You can actually, speaking of Google, you can Google me, baby. And while you're Googling, Google over to YouTube and hit that subscription button. Do that. Smash that subscription button. Leave a like, leave a cool comment. Really appreciate all of that. Like I said, there's a Discord out there. You just gotta find it, or find me. I'll give it to you, and then we can grow a community. But yeah, I think that's where I want to leave it for today. I said all the things I wanted to say. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.